This is a camp dress, Apache camp dress. They call them a score dress. And it takes about probably, I don't know, 10 yards. I don't know much about dress. But a lot of this dress uh, came from the Mexican style. Uh, the sleeves are short now. This is today the modern Apache dress. And it's just real, real wide, and it's beautiful. And you'll get to see a lot of these during the fair with many colors. But a lot of the things is blankets and seem like came down through the influence of the Mexican people with lots of trading, I imagine, in the early days, and getting the idea from their dress. The Apaches would have bridge cloth. The man would have the bridge cloth, and the ladies probably didn't have very much, but they were probably topless. And but later on they began to dress more. The Apache dress, they're covered more so than the old days. But these are some of the old from the old time that we have shown to you about the camp dress. That I thought I'd bring that into you. The tradition probably came from the Mexican people. These are some of the old photographs of Fort Apache, and all the words are picked up here also. We have a lot of old, we pick up a lot of the artifacts and cure comb, oak combs, knife, and buckles, and all kinds of things, and even the top of the plume of the helmet. And this is also the fort. The old fort here. This building still remains here, but this is gone here. The pictures were taken about 1880s. And then here we have the cup that we found, and it also has the U.S. on it. And one time our soldiers drank out of this, and they just threw it away, I guess, or lost it. And then we had the buckles here, and then the buckles for the for many of the canteen, and then here the for the corral and stuff like that. And then we have the officers and all their wives taking picture in front of the master quarters building. The building is still here on the fort. And then we have hundreds and hundreds of horseshoes, and these are the original horseshoe from the soldiers that are bygone, left their tracks behind. And where are they now? But they're gone. But we have lots and lots of horseshoe. And then we have lots of kitchen utensils, fork, knives, and pots and pan where they have bakery, and lots of other things. Things that last would be the the brass. The brass seemed like it'll last for a long, long time, but all the others just rottens away. This is a McCullen saddle. The McCullen saddle were used probably in World War I. But the cavalry would use this, and it's real light for the horse, and they usually use a lot of little guys on riding the horse because it's easier on the horse, and to be a cavalry. And they have all the rigs tied to the McCullen saddle here, and this was a very important rig in the old days, but it sure is rough. When you're riding it, it gets hard. You have to be tough to be a soldier in the old days. And sometime the Apache scout would tell us that their pants or their seat would all be torn of riding hundreds and hundreds of miles back and forth to Mexico, of trying to get the renegades, the outlaws, and trying to capture a lot of the guys that are running loose out there. And what the Apache scout would do is to go hunt them, and then they killed them, and they cut their head off and then bring him back in the gunny sack and identify him that way and bring him back to the officers, and they'll find, yeah, that's him. And then, you know, we have many stories like that about the Apache scout. So that saddle had been used, I guess, and it's a very important part of the history. Here's a picture of Geronimo when he was an old man. The Apaches call him Goyantle. Goyantle means smart one in Apache. He lived a long life, and yeah, he was smart Apache, all right, because all the other villains are all killed, and he lived a long life. Here is one.
Ready, go again.
This is Geronimo when he was an old man. The Apache call him Goyantle. Goyantle means a smart one. He must have been a smart man because he lived to be an old man. And here's Geronimo's wife. Only one of his wife that maybe is buried in Florida. And then here's one of the chiefs, Benito, and here's his picture again, Benito, an older man. And then here's one of the medicine men here at the White Mountain. And then here's a young man. We respect him because he's our chief, White Mountain Apache chief. He won a Congressional Medal of Honor. And it was given to him, and so we honor him very highly. He's buried about 10 miles from here, and the high school is named after him. A lot of places, Altasay Hall and Fish Hatchery and others. There's still a lot of families that are named by Altasay. And then here, going back to Geronimo and his warriors. And then here, Geronimo was captured here, and General Crook and all his men, and then the Apache scouts. And also here, Geronimo and all his warriors, and here they are again.
Where's all, go to his warriors again?
Yes, Geronimo and all of his warriors here.
Okay, then we're going up.
And here, this is all Geronimo's warriors again, painted. These are the only places where I see people's face been painted for a war or something like that. And then here we come to Medicine Man A2. He's very popular and people love him dearly here, but he's been gone for a long time. And these children, we don't know, they're Apache children. And their children look like, they don't have very much, but look like they're healthy there. And then here the girl, puberty girl, she was shy of camera, look like. And then these are all the puberty girls that have been painted with the pollen. And red, probably chalk like earth. And then we have the Apache girls in their puberty buckskin with the tooths, and then with the plate where they usually put the pollen for ceremony, yellow pollen. And then we have the Apache planting their corns and the harvest, and they have a pumpkin. They have a burden basket in the back and carrying it around her head. And then she has this Apache Kemp dress here This is at White River. You can tell by the mountains. And then here's a little process on the basket, the burden basket. Start from the center, and then you work it out, and then add in a lot of twig sticking out, and then you come to the halfway, and then here's a cat's claw. The black is the cat's claw here. It's a design that goes on to the black to the finished product here.
Okay.
These are some of our old Apache leaders, old people that they come together for making decisions and working with the superintendent of the government. And then this is all at White River. And this is how they dress in the early 1900s. And here's one of my grandfather here. Most of these men were Apache Scout one time or another. And all of these men are gone now. They're all gone. And then here they have they issue out ration, and they have beef cut up and give it to the Apaches. Apaches like the meat so much, and they ride their horses and maybe for miles, and on their horse, and the ladies ride their horses. And in the old days, mostly the fellows are slim because of running and walking and riding. Here's a puberty girl in the riches. Look like she has flowers inside the basket here. And then here's the Apache in a cradle board, and all of the other things that are the rituals and ceremonies of these. And let's go over to here we have some of the old photograph of the Fort Apache in the 1879 here, the old Fort Apache. And then come down to White River. This is White River in the 1922, and then White River in 1931. Now we're going back to the family A81, Russell Johnson and his family. This is how the Apaches traveled in the old days on the donkeys and their family. There's a boy behind the father, and a boy behind the mother, and then the daughter on the donkey by herself. And there's McCullen saddle that they use a lot for all of these here. And then also here, bringing in the harvest on the donkey out of the mountains, and where they have their harvest. Okay. And here's a family in the old days with a lot of moccasins here. Some moccasins were torn, and the blanket was very important, and the clothes were very important. And I don't know where they got these, maybe from the Navajos. The Apaches don't make rugs. And then here, this photograph was taken at Canyon Day. Most of these people are gone. These are my relatives, Dazen, Edgar Dazen, and other people. And this is the Apache Wickiup. This is how they live in the old days in the Wickiup, their permanent dwelling. And here the Apache family here also, and the simple plain dressing. And then how the cradle board, the old styles are different from today. These photographs are all important. And then here are seeing people that has a better clothing and warmth, and see like these people look intelligent here, very intelligent. Okay. Here are some of the folks here, and this was a Kanishbal at Canyon Day, and this is David Kane and his wife, um, Helen Kane. And these are some of the people that have worked with the people there at the Kanishpa, the prehistoric building there. And then coming up here we have the Apache in the old days, Chief Alchese here, and all the other Apaches that are with him. These are the scouts, the Indian scouts. And then here was an old man. Chief Alchese became an old man. He's still a nice looking old man. And then here, Chief Alchese and his wife, and the old Wickiup. The Wickiup has been abandoned because somebody had died in there, and they don't want to live in there, and it's taboo to go there and to pick up things from the from where it's been abandoned. And here we've seen this photograph of these people before, and this is also donated by Arizona Historical Society. And here's General Crook and Chief Alchese and one of his scouts also. General Crook always rode a donkey, and he had a shotgun, and he always in the civilian clothes looked like he's always the opposite, probably from the military regulation. He always did the other thing, but there he is. And then here, Chief Alchese and a lot of his cowboys or others that are with him. This is Chief Alchese. Also Chief Alchese here. Chief Alchese, Chief Alchese and John Dazen from CBQ. Then here's a Apache lady with two of her children. Looked like this was probably in the 1900s here. And then coming down, we have the a lady posed with a picture with a lot of her buckskin outfit, and then all of her tufts and burden basket, and then also the basket like a plate. And here's a Tonto Apache, and eagle feather is very important to the Apaches, and the turquoise, and lots of beads around her. The Apaches lady always had a big role of providing. They had to bring in the wood on their back, and so they played a very important role. They were very important because all the clan system goes through the mother and all the ladies. Here another photograph. This is a very interesting photograph because this lady had committed adultery, and so they had to cut her nose off. The other relatives that had to cut her nose off signify that she has committed adultery. So this is very important. And Geronimo, this picture, I don't see Geronimo as like this, but many people do imagine, but as the Apache, we don't see ourselves like this with two horns. It looks like plain Indians. And I imagine when this was taken, probably he was with Buffalo Bill's show in Oklahoma. And we have the kids always work with their donkeys and bring in water from the spring or from the river or lake. And then here is one of the picture of a captured white boy in Geronimo's camp in the 1886. This is the puberty girl usually dressed in a buckskin. This is the top, and then there's a bottom underneath here. On the puberty ceremony, would usually wear this for their dance, for the puberty rituals. And all of these sounds is for dancing and the tinkling sounds, and I guess for decoration. And usually this is made out of deer hide. And deer hide is much whiter than that. And this is what they're going to have this tribal fair here at the White River. And they usually have beadwork on these. And it's pretty hard to make this, and it takes a long time to do it and have the patience. And working with leather, it's real hard. And I guess one of these would probably run for both set. The top and the bottom would run about $400. So it's very expensive now. But in the old days, I imagine it wasn't that expensive. Yeah, the baskets. These baskets are made recently, just like the buckskin. That has been made recently. The baskets, these are burden baskets that are still, Apaches are still making them recently, and they're still doing it, and they're still teaching each other. And some of these basket runs from $50 to $100 and $150. These beads are made by the Apaches here at the Culture Center from the reservation here. The beads probably come in from the Mexicans, and the Apache picked it up. And they do a lot of beadwork, like the wallet and around the bottle, and then the miniature burden basket, and even little moccasins, and with all kinds of color. And they have some of the craft at school, and some in community building, and even some of the church people are making a lot of the arts and craft, and sell them individually, or some as a group like the church. Here at the Culture Center, we're trying to promote arts and craft to help our people, and also to keep the arts and craft going for them, and so that they won't lose their craft as they're making all of these arts and craft, the beadwork. We have here the belt and the headband, barrettes, a T-necklace. Probably this is not my field, probably belongs to a lady. But the ladies always, they're very industrious, make a lot of things, a lot of beadwork. But however, some of the boys, they do some of these beadwork, and some of them don't omit it, but they do. There's a lot of necklace, this plain necklace. And the girls, maybe a teenager could do this, and also maybe 10 or 11, 12-year-old can do this, and even the older people do this. There's a lot of daisy chains that people like to do, and we sell them to people, and they ask them for it, and then we certain color, and then we'll make certain color, and then they request for a special one, special order, and then we go to these people and tell them, and then they would make it for us and then give it to our customers. We have the cradle board, and cradle boards are for sale. And Apache's always looking for a cradle board. And, a lot of babies have been born here on the reservation. Imagine there's over 8,000 Apaches here, and we have lots of work on the medallion beadwork, beautiful beadwork, necklace. And then this year the bicentennial, and a lot of red, white, and blue has come in, and people have requests for that because of the bicentennial, the American birthday. And the necktie, we have the necktie type of beadwork also. And we have necklace on looms that have been made. And then we have lots of keychain. Keychain also are popular among the Apaches, and it's easier to find. So from the necklace, and all the way down to maybe earrings, the Apaches make all kinds of things with the beadwork. They even put beadwork on the cradle board, the Apache cradle board. We have the Apache arrows here that has, people are still making some of this. The reef, they will go down to the lower climate where there's water, and they usually have a hardwood in front of the arrow. This is the regular arrow with the hardwood here. And then they have the arrowhead flint here. And then the sinew is tied. It's a deer gut. The sinew is tied around. And then the feathers to the arrow is the turkey feather. And they split the feather, and then they tie them with the sinew, the bottom, and then top, and then they put the arrow. And they usually call the straight arrow a male arrow, and it's a crooked arrow is a female arrow, because they usually shoot crooked. And then we have the painting of the Apache crown dancer. And then we have our trophies. We have our trophies here also that parade our state fair trophies that we've gotten for the tribe here, the culture center. And then we have the arrowheads. People donate a lot of things on the arrowheads because of the culture center, and we appreciate the donation to the culture center, and to preserve the heritage and the culture here, and so kids can look at them. And then also we have the old Winchester 3030. That's about 1905, and it's, the Apaches used it, and they still were using it, but they want to get rid of it, and so they gave it. And then also we had the Apache stick games that we still, people still know how to play them. And all they have to do is drop them on a flat rock, and it lands on color, and it has a certain numbers. And it's almost, a game is almost like Sorry, and it deals with numbers. And it's a very interesting game. They can play all night long with the stick game. And then we come to the back to the soldiers. the scouts here at Fort Apache. This is a spurs the soldiers would have for their boots, and and then this also is the dress helmet for the Indian scout. On top of the eagle is a cross arrow representing the Indian scout. The plume, this is the horsehair. Its color is red and white. And then it also has the cross arrow on the button on the side. And these are replica, and the belt, the canteen, the pants, and then the coat. They all goes with the dress helmet. These all belong to me. I supposed to belong to the 5th Cavalry from Tucson. We go on a parade and we go into scrimmage encampment, and we have a lot of very unique relationship with them, learning about each other. Then also this is one of the last scout. This fellow is William Major. He's one of the last Apache scout. It'd be good if you interview him too. He's here in White River. He's the only one that is alive from the old scout. But the other gentleman is my grandfather, Quintero. Buckles here, and then the buckles for the for many of the canteen. And then here for the corral and stuff like that. And then we have the officers and all their wives taking picture in front of the master quarters building. The building is still here on the fort. And then we have hundreds and hundreds of horseshoes. And these are the original horseshoe from the soldiers that are bygone, left their tracks behind. And where are they now? But they're gone. But we have lots and lots of horseshoe. And then we have lots of kitchen utensils, forks. But these are some of the old from the old time that we have shown to you about the camp dress. That I thought I'd bring that into you. That tradition probably came from the Mexican people. These are some of the old photographs from Fort Apache, and all the words are picked up here also. We have a lot of the old, we pick up a lot of the
Sure.
This is a camp dress, Apache camp dress. They call them a score dress. And it takes about probably, I don't know, 10 yards. I don't know much about dress. But a lot of this dress came from the Mexican style. The sleeves are sharp now. This is today the modern Apache dress. And it's just real, real wide, and it's beautiful. And you'll get to see a lot of these during the fair with many color artifacts and cure comb, oak combs, knife, and buckles, and all kinds of things, and even the top of the plume of the helmet. And this is also the fort, the old fort here. This building still remains here, but this is gone here. The pictures were taken about 1880s. And then here we have the cup that we found, and it also has the U.S. on it. And one time, our soldiers drank out of this, and they just threw it away, I guess, or lost it. And then we had but a lot of the things as blankets and seem like came down through the influence of the Mexican people with lots of trading, I imagine, in the early days, and getting the idea from their dress. The Apaches would have bridge cloth. The man would have the bridge cloth, and the ladies probably didn't have very much, but they were probably topless. And but later on they began to dress more. The Apache dress, they're covered more so than the old